Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekender Show, day 2 of the start of the new friendly season. We don't know whether it's football league starting or just friendly games, but we know yesterday was unbelievable. We've had loads of feedback, mainly off females, I must admit. So managers, where have you all been hiding? Social media, you've been screaming, shouting at me, we can't wait to get football on. As soon as I put a post up and tell us or ask you, how's it gone in grassroots football? You've all disappeared. How did it go for you? Well, we know loads and loads of referees turned out as well, and we've had loads of response saying everyone was absolutely fantastic. Loads of smiling faces that we saw around. I wasn't out and about, as I say. We're going to wait a couple of weeks before, I don't know, just to see how things go and then get reports back. But you may have seen here, we've got the lovely Liv Henderson, who was refereeing yesterday. Yes, out and about, first day back. Liv, you've got to tell all our viewers, all our listeners, just what it was like being back at grassroots football after COVID-19.
I feel like I've put a lot of weight on.
No, you've been training right the way through, you haven't you?
No, you could tell how tired I was getting
because
I've not been, my fitness has been very low.
Has it?
But it was good, and the kids definitely enjoyed it because they've not obviously played football in a while, so they definitely had fun, I think.
How did it feel first day back, you know, because we've had months off, haven't we?
I was definitely nervous, but then a few minutes and I was fine after that, so.
And any controversial decisions, any shouting from the touchlines?
There was a little bit, but as they say, it's one of the first games back, so you're going to get it, aren't you?
Not really, no, because these are friendlies, you shouldn't have to get it. At the end of the day, I know there's no shaking hands, but just let all our viewers, listeners know, what was COVID-19? Well, the social distancing. Did you notice, was everything put into perspective? Were they unsure what to do?
Well, the parents didn't really social distance, which I think, obviously they've got the kids playing, so if you want to reduce that risk even more, then at least stay 2 metres apart or something.
What, were they all congregating, did you notice? Were they all close together?
Yeah, like on the sidelines. They're always in one bit, they're never spread out, it's always in one part of the sideline. So,
managers, get it right. It's social distancing. I think there was 6 to a group, if I was right, maybe the close families. I think, obviously, we're all looking at people just getting used to COVID-19 and what the FA have put out and the guidelines, and even the referees are going to be trying to get used to things because it's a lot on their plate, to be honest. And I don't know, were you introduced to a COVID-19 officer at all?
No.
Right, well, I don't know whether you're supposed to be introduced to a referee, but I think it's a good idea. My honest opinion, the COVID-19 officer, it's a little bit, the volunteers, and they're in charge of basically everything. Now, I'd like to see a COVID-19 officer paid because they have a massive responsibility. Now, if something happens where one of the children reported back in a couple of weeks of having COVID-19, and then, you know what parents are like, you all start saying, well, hang on, this wasn't in place, that wasn't in place. The whole COVID-19 and the club themselves are going to get into big trouble as well. So I don't think it's a massive, or should be a responsibility for any referee, like yourself. You go there, I think you should be welcomed, by the way. Were you welcomed?
Yeah.
That's good. Well done, teams. Welcome the referee. Treating the referee okay?
Yeah.
Yes? Right, so you know, cover up there. This is what you get back now. You've got to remember that referees will also come onto the show. So, you've got to stay in the good books at the end of the day. Any yellow cards, any red cards?
No.
Fantastic. So that is me telling you you're staying in the good books. So please, please remember, the referee is there to do a job. COVID-19 guidelines have all got to be put into place, not just for the safety of yourselves, but everyone around in that team, the referees as well, because the referees are turning up, making sure that your game goes ahead. And do you know, I've been saying, you know, for weeks, you see referees getting slated on social media. Oh, this referee was bad, that referee. Not by everyone, we know the majority are absolutely fantastic people that you go to. And then suddenly, when all these friendlies have started and you've been missing for a while, the referee really becomes important.
Yeah.
They're bowing down, referee, will you do our game? Referee, we've got friendlies, oh, it'll be magic and we can turn up. They just need a referee. So that speaks volumes of just how much referees are required, doesn't it, in grassroots football now?
Yeah, I've got every weekend booked up now in August, so not really got a weekend off now. So
you can't book it at the moment, but get in touch with us, maradonetechtheline.com, and if there is a place available, then obviously we'll pass it on to Liv if she's available, and just leave your contact details with us and we'll pass the message on, and no doubt if there's any available dates then Liv will get in touch with you, just in case there's any cancellations. But when you're saying you've got a game tomorrow night on the 14th?
Yeah, which is one of my first, the oldest game I would have done, so.
So, any nerves for this one?
Yeah, a lot of nerves, but I'm ready for it. I'm confident enough to.
Right, and no doubt we'll have feedback, but again, teams, if you're watching this and the under 14s, then please make sure that the referee is looked after, welcomed. It's down to the managers. This is your responsibility, coaches. Can't stand back. You can't, let any verbal abuse or any aggressive behaviour go towards the referee, because it won't be allowed, will it, Liv?
No, I'm still a child, so.
There you go. So remember, have you got your yellow armband there?
Yeah, I wore it yesterday as well.
Did you? Well done.
Yeah.
So wear it tomorrow, and just to remind them all. But the worrying part is, I've seen under 14s, under 15s, under 16s. Now you lads out there as well. Well, they are all lads. Any lasses there?
I don't think there will be on this one.
The referee is there to make sure that the laws of the game are adhered to. Simple as that. COVID-19. So make sure that you just play your football. Leave the referee to do her job, especially tomorrow evening, and every other referee who's out and about doing their job week in, week out for you. They're bringing everyone together. But as I say, Liv, last night we had some great feedback. A lot of females were giving us the feedback. I was wondering, as I say, where all those managers disappeared to. We love the feedback on them, because they've got fixtures, games after games, and you being booked up till the end of August is absolutely astounding. I'm over the moon on that one. So many referees are, because I've seen one or two referees still asking for games, if there's any friendlies out there. So that must speak volumes for you. Much sought after. You've got to be feeling proud of that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got to be good for you, because at the end of the day, how long have you been refereed now? 12 months?
Over a year.
Over a year?
Now, yeah.
Well, there you go. And obviously your name's getting around a bit, and it is nice to know that you're getting yourself back into the mode of refereeing. And we've been talking a lot, social media, and watching the way teams are going, but the feedback seems good, not just on the field of play, but on social media as well. Have you been reading many posts where people are happy with the games?
Yeah, Twitter's one of the best ones where you see managers and coaches just mentioning the ref all the time. Well, I know when I get one of them, you feel so good, and it just gives you a confidence boost.
Well, it gives you a lift, doesn't it? And that's what it's supposed to be, isn't it? All about grassroots football. And the referees, it really, you should be there, turning up. Sorry, if my voice keeps going, I've been painting, and lately it's just getting on my chest. It's finished, nearly finished. Liv, it's looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
See, so honestly, when you guests come in there, you're going to be over the moon with it. But going back to refereeing, you just said to me there, if you boost your confidence, if someone puts on Twitter, something on Facebook regarding social media saying, how good you were as a referee, it's great, because the referee should be just left alone. It should be the coaches giving instructions to the kids how to play. That's what coaches are supposed to be. And you should really forget that the referee is in the middle there. The whistle goes for a reason, a good reason.
It's not just on Twitter as well, but when you get like the private messages as well, again, it boosts your confidence.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you're fully booked, no doubt, isn't it? So, smiling faces, if you can get a referee in the studio who's smiling about the games and confident, looking forward to all the games that's coming ahead, that speaks volumes. That is what we want, because we're going to get many referees in here. But I'll guarantee you, Liv, it won't be all smiling faces with some of the referees as the games go on.
Yeah.
Because as you say, there was a few little comments towards the end on your game.
It's just the basics. Do you know,
well,
like when you see a decision that you don't think's affected the game, but they do think that they could have somehow scored the goal, even if it was in their own half. But it's just normal
banter.
Yeah.
Banter. Well, if that's normal banter, it's not going to affect you at all, is it? you know, because of that. But I always tell referees to go on deaf ears, because I know when I'm walking on the sidelines and I pick up a lot, it must be worrying for some of the parents, and I do talk to parents who their child are refereeing on the football pitch. It must be worrying to them to overhear something that's shouted, even though their son or daughter doesn't hear it. The feedback must be unbelievable, and mums and dads who are taking that must be grinding their teeth and saying, I better not say anything because my child's refereeing. And you've got your mum.
Yeah, my mum's always come to the games.
Great, great. Do you ever get any feedback off your mum? Does she say, hey, Liv, that was brilliant, or I thought that was a mistake, or I thought...
Yeah, I know yesterday I might have called one offside. Obviously I don't have the assistant, so I've got to do it all myself. So I've got to run up to one half and then run back to the other half. But I think she said that I need to watch, be a bit quicker and get to join the lines a bit, so it makes it easier for me to see the offsides. So yeah, she definitely gives me the information.
Oh, there you go. So you get good feedback. But does she ever give you information or feedback if anyone shouts? Does she ever?
Yeah, I know yesterday I didn't. Obviously, because I had a team, they were saying like just the wanting the decisions that I didn't give. And then because I just wanted to walk away, Mum was like, no, you need to go and face them, because it's the only way you're going to boost your confidence, isn't it, and get better as a referee.
Well, that's what happened to you. That's, you know, because going back a while, aren't we, when you had that one post up before we met, and I was reading, and I think it was in a conversation with your mum, because you had some verbal abuse of an irate parent, and it upset you a bit, didn't it? But to know that you continue to referee and to know where you were to where you are now is just unbelievable. You know, it's I think no wonder your mum must be proud of you, the way the comments come in, because she probably reads every one of them.
She's always on there.
Yeah, well, there you go. So she's always looking at all the good comments, and you don't, well, no one should slate anyone at all, whether it's social media or whether it's on the sidelines of a football pitch. But at the end of the day, it gives you the right to smile if you know, okay, you just said, I think I might have got one offside or something. But you're admitting to your mistakes, but you can't on the football pitch. Once you give that decision,
you've got to stick with it. You've
got to stick with it, and at the end of the day, you can only apologise at the end of the game, can't you? But friendlies, you shouldn't have any stick whatsoever. That should be well done, referee. Thank you very much for turning up for us, for letting us have a game, and for doing what you're doing. Whether you've got wrong decisions or not should not be questioned. But it just shows you what's in the teams themselves, because kids don't like to be beaten, do they?
No, parents are starting to realise a lot more now as well, because when I did the game yesterday, also I got annoyed towards the end, so I was in a mood. And the other team, they were always like, oh, you did really good, and it's hard being a ref because you've not got the assistants, you've not got VAR. And so I'm bound to make mistakes, because that's just...
You've not got VAR. I beg to differ there, because how many parents see what you don't see? You know, they are the cameras, they're the VAR. At the end of the day, stand back. Parents, mums and dads, don't be irate to a referee. Young referees, experienced referees, whichever it may be, regardless. But don't forget, those referees still have the power to pick that ball up, walk away and say, I'm sorry, I'm not refereeing anymore if it gets a little bit over the top. You don't expect over the top, because at the end of the day, you're just trying to do a job and develop your skills, aren't you, for the future. What would you like to do in refereeing for the future, Liv? How far would you like to take this?
Definitely Premier League. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? See if I can do the sides or even in the middle sometimes, because we've not got a Premier League. We've got Shan Nassi, but she's only on the sideline. She's not actually in the middle yet, so we need to get the women into the middle. And
hey ho, who's to say that it won't be Olivia Henderson in the future?
You never know.
Because the good thing about it, because you were talking about, you still, well, I'm not too sure, but physio was your number one.
Yeah. And
when we were talking a while ago about what you'd like to do in the future, now your physio is...
No.
Oh, come on.
Physio will always be first.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Refing's getting... It's close, but I don't think it will overtake it.
Don't you?
No.
Do you think though, if you were swooped upon and trained up for the top, do you think that would make it a difference then? No? No, because you've got it in your mind then. Right, so there you go. Physio. Liv's going to be a physio as well. as a referee, but I know for a fact that Liv will make it to the top, regardless whether it's physiotherapy or whether it's refereeing.
Pressure's on now, man.
Pressure's on now, but your pressure's on yourself, because you shouldn't be so good on a football pitch then, should you? But do you model yourself on anyone, or is it you want to be unique, you want to be your own person? Your own person.
You take that information that you get off other people and make it your own.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I always have the belief if you model yourself on someone, then you start acting like that person. But you're there to do a job. Yeah, laws of the game, you abide by them, you've got to take them all in. But when you've done it, when you've passed your course, passed your test, then you do it your way. So long as you're getting everything right, the movement, the free kicks, the fouls, you won't get everything right, we all know that. But when you get those assistants, do you think it'll make your job that little bit easier?
Yeah, 10 times easier.
Because you're going to get next year, you're going to get assistants, aren't you, in cup finals, in cups, providing games go on,
Yeah.
COVID-19, because the game, it's another worry, isn't it? You know, it's, did you have your gloves on? And
I didn't have my gloves on, no.
did you?
No, but when we were able to hold distance, we were social distancing. And when we come to the end of the game, we were always doing fist bumps or the elbows.
And that, the kids were doing the same?
Yes, yeah.
So it was friendly at the end, there was nothing?
Yeah, it was friendly at the end, but it was just
well, there was 2 games you had, wasn't it? So
yeah, I had the under-11s and then I did an under-9s.
So they were actually treating them as friendlies, or do you think when the kids get on the pitch, no friendly game, is there? Competitive football.
Just the passion and the passion people have for football at the moment. But some people just take that passion and then go over the top with it.
Yeah.
And just take it too competitive.
Well, there you go, passion for the game, and that's another thing that referees have, haven't they? Because if you didn't have the passion for the game, you wouldn't turn up. You wouldn't have a full diary booked up of games, looking forward to them. Let's hope that the weather be kind to you, because it was yesterday,
You're
wasn't
jinx
it?
that now.
No, I'm not going to jinx it. You jinxed it yourself
I was
yesterday.
quite cold yesterday for some reason.
Were you?
Yeah, I was still running, but I was still quite cold.
Oh, right. That's unusual for our live, because you normally don't feel it. When we've gone to Jeffrey Humble, the weather has been atrocious, hasn't it? You know, sometimes you feel sorry for those referees, shivering, shaking, but they get on 2, 3, 4 games, right, one after another, and we don't take that in perspective. We don't look at that and say, do you know what, let's give them a little minute's break, because games come thick and fast for you, don't they?
Yeah, once we've got one game, because they're never on time, so it's just the next game. Even if it's in the rain, you don't get time to go to the toilet or time for hot chocolate or tea or anything warm. Even you've had to bring my coat out a few times because of getting so cold. So.
And you can see that, you know, because you're watching a referee, you can see it in them, and at the end of the day, they're only human after all. I'm sure that was a song somewhere along the line, but at the end of the day, you've got to look after the referee as well. And committee members, fact, no time. So games straight after one another, no breaks, no coats, give them a 5-minute break, don't have them running. And I know you'll all try it, because you're onto a time limit as well, especially on the hubs, isn't it? Because if you've got a hub there, they've got time limits, they've got adult games, they've got kids games in the mornings, adult games, so it's never stopping there. So I can imagine it's all pressure, but it's good to be back. Tell us if it's good to be back.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait for everything to get back to normal.
I know, let's just hope it does, Liv, because the way things are going again, we're worrying about a second phase, aren't we? The way the news is, the way the holidays are. But you're looking for a little holiday as well, aren't you?
First we're going to Budapest in October.
And a bit of camping in August. Yeah, see, so long as you get a break in between of your referee, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. And it's also allowed. So you're looking forward to an under-14s game tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Weather, well, I think the weather's touch wood. You can blame me if it's not, but hey ho, what's a bit of rain? What's a bit of rain? It's not going to snow. It's not going to hail stone.
You never know.
You never know in this country.
British weather now.
No, guaranteed. But I'm looking forward to getting out and about and watching you refereeing and just see how much you've improved since I saw you last.
I've improved.
I'm saying last year it wasn't. It was just an abrupt end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago, but you've been training, you've been keeping your fitness up. As you said, you've built until you started doing the game, so you're going to be doing a little more fitness training to keep yourself up to speed, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what? That sounds absolutely brilliant. And again, Liv, it's been wonderful to have you on the show. It's been absolutely superb. No doubt, over the weeks, you'll be coming back in. We'll be talking about games. So managers, coaches out there, remember, we can always put a spotlight on your team. So, there we go, from myself
And me.
and me, Liv Henderson. She'll be back, no doubt, very, very soon. So from Madeline and all the team here at the Grassroots Show, Don't Cross the Line and Respect campaign, we wish you a fantastic night. Put your feet up, relax, and we'll see you this coming Friday at 7 p.m, no doubt, with more updates about grassroots football. In the meantime, have a great evening. Good night, God bless.